does it mean to be unstoppable?
Charging straight into the action there.
Unstoppable is a celebration of character.
This is the definition of Ironman as they go up and around.
When all is against you, you keep going.
They find something deep inside him.
When being knocked down is just the moment before you get back up.
That is unbelievable.
When others say you can't, but you know you can. Never give up.
She salutes the crowd and grabs the tape, and what a win it was.
Witness the unstoppable, the Nutri-Grain IronMan and Iron Woman series.
Congratulations, Harriet Brown. Wonderful to see her fellow athletes and still have the strength to carry her across.
I'd be barely able to stand up, but Courtney Hancock and Gemma Smith managed to carry her there from the women to the men now, and we get to do it all again. And well, I got to take a sit down for a second because my heart rate's just coming down after that women's race, and it's on to the men. Same again, board swim ski race 1 of 2. We'll drop 6 out and we'll go again, and the boys are off and away, and they will all charge down the beach there. You can see that. The sun's just come out. The wind's continuing to blow, though.
And you mentioned in previous events, Josh, that some of the guys now have opted to carry their ski rather than drag it.
Yeah.
Carry the board rather than drag it. And it's interesting to note there's a variation in this strong wind of techniques.
Yeah, guys flying around all over the place. That's Corey Fletcher, who's gone the furthest down, the pink board, the orange top. He had a bronze in the second round of the series there. He was happy with that. Wes Gould's gone Kai Taylor and Max Beattie's gone a fair way. Taylor, the laydown paddler, he's in the lead. He just sneaks through one. He won the board race of the specialists yesterday, so he's on that right-hand side. Ali Day sitting on your heels, and you know you've done the right thing if Ali Day's chosen the same line as you have. So we'll wait and see. Dan Collins there at the bottom right-hand side's doing a great job. Corey Fletcher goes up and over on the pink. He bashes himself through that one there as well. That's Zach Morris. Matt Bevilacqua on the red, and you can see the boys, compared to the girls and how tired they were in that last leg, they're really hammering at the boys at the moment. They're absolutely flying out to sea, and they're really doing a good job on the way out at the moment. Have a look at 1 or 2 of them go. Dan Collins tries to get underneath it. He doesn't. Gets the back shot. Fletcher goes off as well. Ben Carberry. But I think Collins might have snuck through. And he's going for it. Kai Taylor as well on this side. Wes Gould and Ben Carberry go up and over. And then the rest are getting absolutely hammered. They are not enjoying this. There's Matty Poole in his final ever race. He's looking for a fairy tale finish and probably deserves one too. He's had a couple of years in the wilderness, couple of years since he's won a race, but he's always been thereabouts. It's 3rds, 4ths, 5ths. He had a couple of seconds last year, so he'll be looking for a big result today to finish off with a bang. And it's going to take a hell of a lot for these boys as they work their way out to sea, and you can see how spread out they are already, and these are the best in the business. That's Adam Palmer and Ali Day working their way through the break, starting to go towards that back bank. Ben Carberry just sneaks into shot there. He's on the stomach, the big strong lad trying to work his way through, and that wind is blowing so strong. I don't know how strong it is, but I've never felt wind so strong on a beach than I have today, and it is pushing these guys sideways at a rate of knots.
Yeah, would you carry or would you drag? Getting back to that former point.
I wouldn't go. I'd leave it on the beach. I'd sit back and let the professionals handle it. This wave is big out the back. 1 or 2 are going to sneak over. 3's going to go over. Somebody's going to get caught. Are they? No. Maybe Matt Poole gets absolutely smashed in the back there. So Kendrick Louis at the bottom of the screens. He's trying to sneak out. Bailey Johns, that looks like it's him there as well. No, sorry. Max Beattie as well. This one's a big one. The boys are going to punch through that and roll. They roll underneath it. Bevilacqua just comes into shot, but our leaders, somebody ran the gauntlet. It looks like Dan Collins there in the swim cap, and he's run the gauntlet and flown out. Ben Carberry sitting tight on his tail, and well, from first to last, there's maybe 200 metres as the boys make the back break there and start to go to work back to that can because they've shot out relatively straight. They thought they were going to get washed down even more, and I think they've done a fantastic job so far. Very tough for our leaders, and one moment we thought some had snuck out, they got smashed, and then we thought the other side had snuck out and they got smashed, and it seemed to be the men in the middle, Dan Collins, Kai Taylor, Ben Carberry, maybe Wes Gould as well, and Finn Askew. So yesterday's winners right there on the pink board in 5th place at the moment, and they're working their way over to the far white can, and then back to the beach.
And they've been telling us too over the last couple of days that this incredible wind that we're talking about is still having a massive impact. Even when you're out on the water, just trying to paddle against it or across it is very difficult.
So difficult for these guys there. Collins turns there. Kai Taylor hard on his tail. Ben Carberry muscles his way around. Finn Askew's worked his way up into 4th place. That looks like Wes Gould there. Oh, he'll just sneak over one. Adam Palmer. Kendrick Louis then it looks like Max Beattie, Ali Day maybe. Oh no, Bailey Johns, sorry. Bailey Johns having a good one. Matt Bevilacqua, Ali Day, Joe Collins, Corey Taylor's going around there. A long, long way back to these guys. It looks like Matt Poole is in 3rd last place with plenty of work to do. Jackson Borg is the same, but I wouldn't be too worried if I'm a long way down at this point. We know the swim and the ski is where it's at. The board they seem to handle relatively well, but the swim and the ski are where these races are decided. Turn and go, find yourself a wave. Oh, there must be something coming because they've all lifted the rating. They know that there's a big set out the back. They can see it. They're all pushing for it. Here it comes out of the right-hand side of the screen. Couple on the front. Oh, Askew went off. Oh, he managed to bring it back. So he's gone up, over, back, down, and he manages to get a wave on his own. And I thought he'd made a massive mistake yesterday, and he made a fool of me at the end of that race. Went straight past Matt Bevilacqua. I thought he'd made another mistake, and he managed to hold it together like a rodeo rider on a bucking bronco, and he's done a fantastic job. He'll continue to run this one out with Ben Carberry on the wave behind him. So he'll sit, wait, he'll prop. Have a look at Dan Collins come flying down. Kai Taylor there as well. He just goes out of shot. So Collins just keeps getting better and better and better. Every race, he just continues to go from strength to strength. He didn't have the final result he wanted yesterday with an 11th place finish, but every single individual leg was fantastic. He was the top of the race all day. So that's Kai Taylor on the left-hand side, Finn Askew and Dan Collins. This is Generation Next, Bill. These 3 will be around for a long, long time.
And 2 more coming at them, managed to get the next wave, but 3 on the beach together.
Guess who's on the next wave side by side? The big hitters. The big hitters. Matt Bevilacqua and Ali Day. Only those 2 men can win the overall title today. Ali Day has to finish, Matt Bevilacqua has to finish 6 spots in front of Ali Day. So it's a 14th and an 8th. It's a 1st and a 7th kind of situation for these guys, and they'll be aware of it. But Ali Day knows if he just sticks to Matt Bevilacqua like glue, it's going to be his title to win, and he knows the situation. Wes Gould goes round. There is Collins and Carberry. There's Louis and Carberry as well as they work their way through. Candice Warner on the beach. This men's race is a lot closer.
It is, and the wind has picked up dramatically on the shore. I mean, I'm literally getting blown away. Finn Askew must be still on a high. He's come past me looking fantastic, but it was interesting. I was speaking to Georgia Miller after the women's race and I asked her, what was the hardest leg? And she said, by far, the swim leg. So these boys have a hell of a race in front of them.
And a long run up the beach as well. As we can see, they're almost disappearing. Look at that sand whipping around their ankles from this strong southerly. They're running directly into it. It is tough. And then they have to swim out and back. It's a long way. We'll be back after this. We're into the first of the 2 men's races today. We talked about the event within the event for the Iron Woman Series. It's the same for the Iron Men, and we're talking about qualifying for the top 10 for next year. Now, that's an interesting battle because Matt Poole, having announced his retirement, has left a gap, which means there is Beattie, Corey Taylor, Carberry, Gould and Fletcher all within 6 points and all fighting for that coveted 10th spot this year, which is a very important qualification for next season. So there's a lot going on.
A massive amount going on. I'll run through how they finished the board leg there. Of course, we saw Askew, Collins, Kai Taylor, Ali Day and Matt Bevilacqua go through. That was our top 5. After that, Joe Collins, Wes Gould, Kendrick Louis, Ben Carberry, Corey Taylor was your top 10. Adam Palmer in 11. Max Beattie in 12. Zach Morris in 13. Bailey Johns on the cusp. Bailey Johns was in 14th heading into the swim. Matt Poole, the man who's headed for retirement, wants one more race after this one. He's in 15th place. Hayden Cotter was in 16th. Jackson Maynard 17th. Borg was in 18th. Corey Fletcher was in 19th. And then Jai Timperley, who's sitting third overall on the point score, half a point ahead of Jackson Borg. He is in last place, and he was a minute 30 outside of qualification zone. So that red zone is a long, long way down, and some big stories there as well. The likes of Matt Poole, he's trying to hold on to, well, this career for one more race. It'd be terrible to see him go out early, because he has won so many eliminators in the past. Like, he has 7 race wins in his time, and I think 4 of those 7 have been eliminators. He really loved them, and a lot of the time they were the final race of the series. It all came down to that final thing, and the moment came, Matt Poole stood up, and he's at the end of his career. He's a little bit older. He's a little bit, well, slower, but he's still got it in him, and he's got to manage to fight his way back into it. And then the least experienced man in the field, Bailey Johns, is the one he's fighting it out with. Bailey just got his first ever start yesterday.
And wasn't he good?
Oh, mate, he took it with both hands, jumped in there. I think he had a top 10 finish in the end yesterday.
Yes, he did. He finished 9th. He was actually 4th in the board race, which in that format was a race in itself. So he was a genuine winner there.
And I spoke to his coach, Michael King, this morning about him, and he said he moved up here to the Gold Coast, from Yamina, the same place that Gemma Smith's from. And Kingy said he had to get a bit of mongrel about him. He had to learn how to race, and he said he thought he might find it a little bit tough with the big boys, but he rose to the occasion there, and we can see that's Bevel Aqua swimming out the back. There's Kai Taylor as well. So this is our lead group. And just going back to Bailey Johns, he got some mongrel, he got in the thick of it, and he really started to go yesterday. So our leaders out the back, still Dan Collins, Askew, Kai Taylor, Ali Day, and Matt Bevilacqua, all together in one group, and I guess there's safety in numbers. You go in with the big guns, you know they're going to be close to the mark.
We're barely able to see the ski turning can there. Imagine how hard it is when you're in the water trying to sight where you need to go in all this washing machine-like surf.
And that's exactly right. What they'll do is they'll wait till the swell comes up underneath them. They get to the peak, they'll lift their head up, have a look, get a general direction, swim towards that general direction, and then get another look on the next swell. So every time you go up, you have a look, then you go down into the deep section, get working. And that's our lead pack that's turned the cans there. That was Wes Gould on the way out, working very, very hard. Our leaders on the way home, that was Ali Day. So the men are staying together much better than the women. There's those 2 groups. The next group of Collins, Gould, Kendrick Louis, Ben Carberry, and Corey Taylor, they're all working their way to the swim can, while our lead group of 5 is working their way home from the swim can. They're heading back into the break zone at the moment, and really, well, much tighter racing than the women. It looks like Ali Day, he might just be starting to stamp his authority. I don't think he's in first, as our leader does a bit of backstroke there. It might be Dan Collins, but Ali Day's gone from 5th up into 2nd at the moment. Plenty of backstroke, a little push on the left-hand side of the screen there as the wind just blows us around, and it's going to be very tough for these guys to hold these waves. There's a wave on. There's a wave on at the moment for the guys on the left of the screen there, and there's plenty of waves in the centre, so I think the order's going to change for a couple of these guys. We wait to see who can get a lift. 1, 2, no, they won't get down at the boys. Oh, maybe Kai Taylor. Maybe Kai Taylor's come from the sky. A couple have picked it up broken. I don't know who that is. We'll wait till they pop out. There's a cap there. I'd bet that's Dan Collins. There's a pink rash vest in that one as well. So one of the boys that's had to come through the trial, maybe Kendrick Louis, because there's Finn Askew at the bottom of your screen there working very hard. So's Ali Day, Matt Bevilacqua. So they're coming from the clouds, and I think that second group has come up onto our leaders there, the likes of Kenj Louis.
Finn got caught in the trough there. He did get a little wave earlier, but as those others came in, he was fighting against the backwash there.
Someone's come down one as well. That might be Ben Carberry. Ben Carberry it is. He comes flying down the centre of that, and he wrestles it to the ground there. I don't know if he's managed to hold on, but we saw him go flying past Finn Askew, and, well, the biggest man in the field went past the smallest man in the field, and he will be loving these conditions. Won't be loving the swim, but every time he tries to go there, he has a big kick, pushes down this one. Great body surfing there, manages to milk the most out of it he possibly can. There's Ali Day got onto one. I think Askew's there as well. Collins was in the mix. Bevilacqua, Kai Taylor, Joe Collins as well. Where's Gould? Where's he? You'll see him in the orange. So this is a much, much closer race, but it's not about the boys at the front. It's about the boys at the back. You've just got to finish in the top 14 as Ben Carberry stands up and makes his way into transition. We've done board, we've done swim. It's time for the ski, and this is where the action happens.
Well, this is where the biggest change in leadership could happen on the ski. Anything's possible. We've already seen one broken, and we saw a paddle broken in the women's race, if you've just recently joined us, and it was Harriet Brown's too, the series leader. Thankfully for her, it wasn't on the line in this race today, but take it easy, mate, because you've just got to qualify for that decisive race next time around. The Mo's happening pretty well too.
Yeah.
It's growing well.
It's all smiles for Benny Carberry there. And just to put it in comparison, the girls' swim leg in the last race took 14 minutes for them to get around. It just took the boys 7 minutes, half the time that it took the girls to get around those swim cans. It's just a pure strength thing. They've got a little bit more strength as Kai Taylor's in second, Finn Askew, Ali Day, Hayden Cotter. Is that Hayden Cotter who's come from the clouds there? A way to see him go up around. It looks like the big fella there. So he was a long way down in 16th place, but he might have got away from the back. And then Dan Collins works his way. It is Hayden Cotter there who's worked his way into that one. So that's Askew Day, Kai Taylor there in second, third and fourth, and they head down and onto the ski. And well, it's not over yet, that is for sure. Ben Carberry's managing this better than anyone because he's the strongest man in the field. Sometimes you just can't fight pure strength. Matt Poole as well, so he went in with Hayden Cotter. He was just behind him. He's come out, and he's come out in 8th place at the moment, so a fantastic performance for him. Candice Warner on the beach. These guys look very tired, but they're going very quick.
Yeah, they sure are. Ali Day and Finn Askew side by side at the moment. And the thing that I've noticed the most is obviously the wind. So in conditions like this, they're really going to have to roll and commit to that rolling.
Yeah, that's when they negotiate the waves on the way out. I really can't underestimate too how hard it is to handle those surfcraft, board and ski in this wind. To just get out there, it can cause all sorts of problems. More coming through.
Yeah, Palmer through, then Bevel Acker and Jackson Borg as well. So this is getting close to our top 14. No Kendrick Louis. Thought I saw him coming down a wave, but there he is there. So he will go through. He's in 11th place at the moment, Kendrick Louis. So he's in 13th place at this moment. So this is it here. 14th is Corey Taylor. 15th is Joe Collins. That is not what you want. And Wes Gould and Joe Collins dropped 9 spots in that swim.
We'll come back and tell you there's been some big moves backwards and forwards since that previous leg. We'll get to that after this. Big Ben Carberry led them into the ski leg here in the first of our 2 races in the survival round. He picked up 8 positions on that leg. Hayden Cotter picked up 10 positions for his 6th placing. And then Zach Morris picked up 6 positions. Matt Poole 7. So the veterans back into that coveted top 14. But looking at the other way, Matt Bevilacqua, series contender, has dropped 5 positions, and he's a long way behind Ali Day at the moment, at least as they headed into the ski. It could change in a heartbeat. Kendrick Louis lost 5 spots. Corey Taylor 4. Joe Collins 9. Wes Gould 9. And these guys are fighting to stay in the contest, down around 14th position. Yeah, all our men almost through as Ben Carberry works his way home. He's snuck out, no dramas at all. Now he's working back in the red zone. Heading into the ski was Fletcher, Johns, Timperley, so 3 from Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park, Max Beattie, Wes Gould and Joe Collins. So they were in the red zone, but it was very, very tight. You could throw a blanket over about 8th place back to 17th. So outside the boys at the back, and there's Borg there working his way out and through at the moment. So, that's Bailey Johns working his way through at the moment. So that's the back markers there. They have plenty of work to do. It's very tight for these coveted 14 places in the final, and it's just 2 races for survival today because these races are so very long. We're already 22 minutes. Oh, big
wow.
lose there.
Have a look at that. Shot it up into the sky there, and he punches the water as well. Ben Carberry just cruises past him and say, tough day, mate, and keeps going along, and that's not what you want from anyone out there. Very, very difficult, and Ben Carberry, he might have to be the favourite for this next race because he has looked so good. Let's take a look at the replay. The little double up there, tries to crash through that one. It gets stood on its tail, shot into the sky there. It's gone, well, those skis are 18 feet long, so it's gone a long way up in the air, and then he gave the water 1 for good measure.
Ben Carberry's got a decision here. He knows he's qualified for the top 14. That's a no-brainer. Does he rest on the ski, or does he get on the sand as quickly as he can and take the rest there? Because he is going to have longer to prepare for the final race of the season than the others.
I'd be trying to get to the beach. You can see he just muscles his way around ground there while the rest of the guys would have got flipped off. He's doing it nice and easy. So Ben Carberry, he had a solid board paddle, a big swim, and then he was strong on the ski there, hands it over, and just like Harriet Brown in race number 1, he'll walk across the line, but that didn't work out too well for Harriet Brown, who ended up with a snapped paddle. So we'll wait and see. We have one up the beach, one across the line. He will win race 1 of 2 in survival, but his prize will be, well, a spot on the line for round number 2 there. He will get himself set and go. He's 110 kilos and got shoulders like the best footballers you've ever seen there, and he loves it out in the water. Mr. Ali Day there couldn't be more different. Both these men started at the Warilla Barrack Point Club on the south coast of New South Wales, so they know each other very well. They grew up together, they raced together. Now they're doing the Nutri-Grain IronMan series together. Different looking athletes. Ali's a little smaller, although he's gotten bigger in recent years. He's more of the endurance whippet, where Ben Carberry's the big power man. He'd be a heavyweight, and Ali Day might be a lightweight, that's for sure, but he'll cross the line in second, and a very good result for him.
They bought a couple of tickets to the decisive race, and there was a beautiful bit of side-on paddling there from what should be the third place getter in this first race. It won't have a bearing on the series, of course. This is just about qualifying. It's Finn Askew coming in. It wasn't him that was sideways, but good work.
I think it was Matt Poole.
It was old man Matt Poole.
Oh, keep it straight for one more time. Matt Poole goes from, well, 18th at one point. The big fella, he has the longest arms you will ever see. His knuckles almost drag on the ground, the big fella there. Crosses the line. All smiles at the moment. And he's done a fantastic job to get that one. So Carberry, Day, Finn Askew, Poole, and this is Zach Morris. So a big one for Zach Morris there. He's had a paddle of his life. So he came from a long, long way down.
6 places back.
Massive for Zach Morris to get through there. There's Dan Collins, Kai Taylor as well. He's done a good job. Jackson Maynard. So we haven't spoken much about Jacko Maynard there. He is really in the hunt for that top 10 up and around as well. It looks like Wes Good either runs on. Joe Collins is there. Adam Palmer. So it looks like as they cross the line, 3, 4, 5, we might be down into 8, 9 and 10. Hayden Cotter. Kendrick Louie might be looking for the last spot there.
Here he comes.
I don't know. Jai Timperley, we're right on the edge. So Kendrick Louie and Jai Timperley, I think both will get through in the end. So that might be all she wrote. And you know who's gone? The big story, Matt Bevilacqua. Matt Bevilacqua is gone.
And that means the series
The
is gone.
series is over. I think that means that Ali Day is our series champion, because Matt Bevilacqua, he has not qualified for the second race. He couldn't be past it. Yeah, there he is there alongside Corey Taylor. He shakes the head. He knows his series chances are over. And he was the only one putting it to Ali Day for a lot of these early days in the series. Finn Askew was another one, but just like that, Ali Day will collect his 4th Kellogg's Nutri-Grain IronMan Series title. Unbelievable. Congratulations to the big fella as Corey Taylor goes up and around, but they are out. Corey Taylor gets 15th. Matt Bevilacqua gets 16th there. That's not the result he wanted, and well, congratulations to Ali Day and his team, because he really deserved that.
Yeah, Matt probably had an inkling, but he's just having it qualified by the officials. So there it goes. The series is officially decided, but here's Candice.
So I'm down here with Harriet Brown. Harriet, you are the series champion. You look phenomenal out there today.
Thanks so much, Candice. I really can't believe it. I'm so happy. It's just like so much hard work put together, and yeah, to win a series, it just feels so good.
Last year you were sidelined with injury. Did you ever, while you were sitting there watching the girls race, did you think you'd be able to get back to the heights that you have?
Oh, no, I didn't. I hit some pretty hard lows there for a while, and even coming back to training, I was so much further behind all the other girls. And even 6 months ago, I really had my doubts whether I'd be able to contend and be up the front. And I just put a lot of hard work into it. I've got a great team around me at Northcliffe and Floody, and yeah, all the other people around me to be able to get back. And I probably didn't expect to win the series, and it just feels so good.
So do you get to celebrate tonight? I know you've got a really busy schedule ahead of you with races next week and obviously state and nationals coming up. Do you get to celebrate and just really appreciate what you've done this season?
Yeah, I'll have a little celebration tonight, but we are racing Summer of Surf, Shaw and Partners, Shannon Eckstein Classic next weekend, so we'll have to reset, but I'm just going to enjoy the moment, because they don't come along very often, so it's nice to just soak it up.
Well, you are one of the favourites on the beach. Everyone loves you. You are so nice and love speaking to you. every race almost. So congratulations on a great season.
Oh, thanks. That means so much too. Thanks, Candice. Woo!
There you go, Harriet Brown. Wonderful series she's had, and she had the luxury today of knowing she was the champion before she entered the water here at Kurrawa. Danielle McKenzie on 88 points, finishing second ahead of Courtney Hancock and Hannah Scully. Great battle there for the minor placings in the end, particularly with Lana Rogers pulling out, if you've just joined us, pulling out of today's race not long before it started. So that's why she's down there on 77 points. And Georgia Miller, also a great story for the opposite reason. She missed the first 2 rounds through illness, and boy, has she been a stunner at Kurrawa Beach, winning the last couple, and that was a great performance from her today. So that completes the women's series, and Ali Day now has the same luxury as Harriet in his final race.
It's all about putting the exclamation mark back on his series. He is the champion, and we'll have all that action coming up after this break.
Well, witness the unstoppable, they say, and you're looking at the unstoppable right there pretty much. That surf here has had an amazing impact on this series.
Oh, hasn't it ever? On some of the guys that have they've battled it so hard today throughout the entire opening race, and sometimes they've just got no reward for their effort put in, and it's been sort of progressively worse and worse and worse over the last couple of days. As we take a look at the results from race number 1, Ben Carberry got the win, Ali Day, so 2 boys from the south coast of New South Wales sitting on top of the point score. Askew, one of the youngest, Matt Poole, definitely the oldest there. He survives, and he will race for the final time in this second round. We'll take a look over the page, and Corey Taylor was the first to miss out. Candice Warner is on the beach in the thick of the action.
I'm down here with Finn. Finn, obviously you won yesterday, and I noticed when you got to the beach today, you were still smiling.
Oh yeah, I'm still in awe. It was such a surreal day, and I'm still trying to soak it in. And yeah, conditions are very much the same today. A bit bigger, a bit more messy, and super tricky. And yeah, all of us boys love this sort of stuff. So yeah.
So the first race that you did today, what was the toughest leg, I'd say?
Probably ski, because you just have to really manage the wind, and your ski can get carried with the wind a bit, so you just got to really manage that and make sure you're in the right spot at the right time and not getting caught underneath a massive 6 to 8 foot bomb.
So on a day like this, would it be more of a, not so much a race against your competitors, but more against the ocean?
Yeah, exactly, Candice. Yeah, it's sort of about pulling back. You're not going as hard as you would, say, if it's flat. It's about just pulling back, making the right decisions, and as I said before, making sure you're not getting caught underneath one of those big sets out there.
Well, you look fantastic in the first race, and everyone is really willing you home for this one too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks to everyone back home that's watching me and supporting me. So big shout out to all you guys. So yeah, thank you.
All the best.
Thanks, Candice.
Well done, Finn. He's learned a lot from this series and come through, as you've often said, the heir apparent, so to speak.
Oh,
he trains with Ali Day.
Yeah, and he looks like Ali Day. He not just the way
for the man bun.
Yeah, well, Ali Day had a man bun when he was young. That's another thing. It's not just the look, but it's the way he holds himself on the beach, the positivity, the energy, the enthusiasm. And I spoke to Zane Hamill this morning about him, and it's the enthusiasm to learn and grow. And even after yesterday, he said, "I've got more. I can improve." And that's the sign of a great athlete. You don't sit back and relax and say, "Oh well, I've got it." You get into it and say, "Well, what can I do better tomorrow?" And that's what Ali Day's done for 10 years now, and I think it's some of that starting to rub off on Finn Askew, and I think he's a name to watch over the next couple of years, that is for sure. And it's going to be very, very difficult out in the water. Talking about Ali Day, of course, because Matt Bevilacqua missed out, Ali Day has claimed the series. He goes into rare air with a fourth Nutri-Grain IronMan series title. He joins the likes of Dean Mercer and Kai Hurst in the equal 5th most ever. And in front of him, I don't know if you've heard of some of these famous names, the likes of Shannon Eckstein, Darren Mercer, Trevor Hendy, and Zane Holmes.
Slightly favourites.
Yeah, it's good company up there. So we're seeing one of the all-time greats without a shadow of a doubt, and without hyperbole as well.
We just before that saw a shot of Zach Morris standing next to Matt Poole, who's retiring, of course, and Zach only 18 years of age. So future and past there.
Oh, and the Morris family, he's got a couple of brothers there that some would say are almost more talented. And Wes Gould, he's the local right now at Kurrawa Beach. He was just in shot there enjoying a good result for him. He's had an up and down series with a 4th early on in the week and then a 15th yesterday. So it's been up and down, but when you're racing in conditions like this, that's the situation that you have to deal with. And these guys, they're set on the line. That's Adam Palmer there and his old man. And we talk about great surf families. Adam's brother Matt is a great Ironman as well, and he's someone. And every time we throw the camera on Adam Palmer, he's got this big cheesy grin on his face. He's having the time of his life at the moment.
It's his debut too.
Yeah, and he's in the thick of the action. He's really trying to get that top 10 spot, and getting into this final will have helped him. A couple of boys just wandering off the line, having a look, going for a jog, and they're just waiting for everything to be set so we can have a fair race out here, the second of 2 in a survival.
Adam's a keen fortnight player, apparently, which a lot of people would identify with, but
not me.
These races feel like a fortnight. I don't know.
That's it. They've taken a very long time. That is for sure. Hugs all round for Harriet Brown there as she wanders through the crowd, and that she'll be waiting to see how her teammates from Northcliffe go and the guys who made it there. So Jai Timperley, he jumped 4 spots in that final leg. Joe Collins 6, Wes Gould 6 to get himself in. And the big losers there was Jackson Borg, and that was his ski flying through the air. We saw, I thought it might have been Bailey Johns, but it was Jackson Borg. His ski went flying through the air and he dropped 8 spots on that final leg. Missed this final here. We say goodbye to Corey Fletcher and Max Beattie. They've had stellar years, both of them podiums this summer, so they were loving it there. Matt Bevilacqua, he'll be kicking himself. And New Zealand's finest, Corey Taylor, he's a 4-time New Zealand Ironman champion, a representative, a World Championship silver medalist, the man from the Midway Club in New Zealand. And he's one of the greats of all time of New Zealand surf sports, and he's put on a show here this weekend, but we won't see him in the final race.
So Josh, the swell, it must be said, has dropped off a little bit compared to what the women had to deal with a bit earlier, but the wind has picked up as well. So it's still going to be really tough conditions there.
Very tough for these guys, and it just gets worse and worse as the day goes on. It just continues. The tide's now running out. We can see there's no water around the guys, and that means the tide's starting to run out this afternoon. That means the bank's going to be very, very shallow. There's discussions all around for these guys, and the action's just about to happen.
And we'll have that for you right after this break. The final race coming up in this season's Nutri-Grain Iron Series. Harriet Brown is the women's champion. Ali Day, we can confirm, is the men's champion, with his nearest rival, Matt Bevilacqua, having to miss this final race. He's failed to qualify for it. You can see people turning their backs to the breeze here. They don't have that luxury as we get onto that final race, the ski leg. And don't take your eyes off the chaos that's about to follow.
Have a look at them there. They're all, so the boys, they're shaking their arms out at the moment because that last race, the lactic acid would just be building and building and building. We're set, and we've finally got to start in the last race of survival today. Ski, swim, board is the order. They will charge down the beach, head out, and then do their best against atrocious conditions here at Kurrawa Beach. For the final time this summer, the Nutri-Grain Ironman will go to war, and it's Jai Timperley who's cut it early and said, don't worry about running down, boys. I'm getting in the thick of it. He was last in the last race, managed to find his way back. He just qualified. He got the final spot, and I think he's going to throw caution into the wind here and try and get a race win. Before yesterday, he had 3 podiums. He got a 7th yesterday. It wasn't what he wanted. He was in the thick of it. And the man formerly from Byron Bay and one of the funniest men in the business, he loves to do jiu-jitsu, so he likes to wrestle, likes a bit of a scrap, and he's in for one here as he tries to break through the surf at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job. Ben Carberry in 2nd place and Matt Poole in 3rd. So the sentimental favourite, Zach Morris, is there as well. They go for it. The rating lifts there. Poole's going to have to duck underneath it. He cops one in the face, but he stays upright and keeps going, and they've done the best of it so far. So maybe the run-up wasn't the move, because have a look at Jai Timperley go. He is cutting through this one like a hot knife through butter, and he is being chased by Ben Carberry, Matt Poole and Zach Morris. Kendrick Louis has been hammered. He went a long, long way up, and he's ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. So just like that, conditions can change. Ali Day's got to go through one there. He goes up and over. Just getting absolutely smoked at the moment. All over the place. Plenty of the Finn Askew's going backwards. Finn Askew's going backwards. backwards. So's Kai Taylor. Oh, so the young ones, they're in trouble. A couple of the guys have been absolutely destroyed, and have a look how long the break is. And Jai Timberley looks around and goes, oh, he'd gone backwards as well. So Jai Timberley's got absolutely smacked. Ben Carberry's gone past him as well. So just when you think you're out, just when you think you're sweet, it's all chaos, and there's a big, big wave out the back. Matt Poole and Zach Morris have to go. Ben Carberry has to go. If they don't get over this one, it could be all over Red Rover.
It's an extraordinary, it's hard to explain how difficult the conditions are here. You would have seen Timberley had a relatively easy run through the first few waves, but then after that, it all closed out on him.
Morris, Poole and Carberry, they're out the back. Carberry's got to make a quick turn. He'll go up and over, get some air as well. So what about this one? Matt Poole up alongside Morris there as they head towards that first can. Further back, Jackson Maynard. Kendrick Louis doing his best to battle into this one here. It's been a tough summer for the man from Manly in Sydney, formerly of Collaroy as well. So a good Sydney boy, spent some time up at Mooloolaba with the likes of Matt Poole, Hayden White, and you can see the boys have just taken the pressure off already. They know that there's a hell of a lot of luck that goes into this. Finn Askew at the bottom of the screen.
Still working his way out.
He got smashed. Kendrick Louis has been pumped as well out the back there. So I think Finn Askew almost went all the way back to the beach, but he was still on top of his ski. And Kendrick Louis
just
has
got
had
back on board.
So much bad luck. Oh, look at the carnage. Wes Gould's lost his ski. That'll go past Kai Taylor there. Who's that in the water? Somebody's about to cop one. Jackson Maynard. So the man from the Gold Coast, the Currumbin Club, he's forced to go underneath, and it is pure carnage at the moment. Poole leads them from Morris, then just behind them Ben Carberry, and the rest of the field is all over the place. Let's take a look at this replay. Wes Gould, oh, it gets shot out the front. Jackson Maynard, he's in the road, he's got to roll underneath it. Maynard goes underneath that one, so good skills from the big man from Currumbin, and Wes Gould will be forced to go all the way back to the beach and get his ski. Out the back, there's action aplenty. Our top three at the moment are absolutely on fire here. There is a big, big wave. That's Wes Gould swimming back to the beach at the moment. Jackson Maynard still making his way out. What do you do in that situation? You just got to make your way back in and keep tipping away. Here comes a wave out the back for our top three, and what a run these three have had. They've got a big gap back to Timperley and Day, who are just going around the can out the back at the moment. But Matt Poole, wouldn't it be a fairy tale? His final race. Is it too early to dream?
It's a little too early.
I know it's a little too early. We've learned that much. Very much so. Oh, they come together. Carberry and Poole go side by side. Their skis just kiss ever so slightly, and then they go to work here. This is where it's going to be difficult. They've got to keep it straight. They've got to put the power down. You'll see once that wave starts to stand up, they'll start paddling really fast, try and get out in front of it and make sure that they don't slew on the edge. But, oh, Morris has slewed out the back. He's gone off sideways. Carberry and Poole think that they can handle it. Morris, a little bit less experienced, and you picked him before this race. The boys put the power down. Poole goes all different ways except the way he's supposed to be going. Oh, he goes off. He's going to try and grab his ski. Leave your stuff behind and go. Leave your stuff behind. That's what has to happen, because Carberry and Morris, they're going to work their way all the way to the beach, and Benny Carberry's looking very comfortable in these crazy conditions.
He's having a pretty good couple of days, actually, Ben Carberry, and good on him. He's shown a lot of stamina, because that's the other thing we have to factor in, and that is the cumulative effect of the effort they've had to put in 4 consecutive days of racing, and who knows what niggling little injuries they're carrying as well.
We've never seen it before. I spoke to a few of them this morning. They'd been getting massages before and after their races, ice baths every day. So Carberry 1, Morris 2, Poole's on the beach in 3, and he looks ginger as he gets up and starts to run, but there was plenty of work still left to be done in this race, and it's going to be very, very difficult for Matt Poole to get back into this one with that gap and the swim next. But if he can get a wave and get a bit of luck, I reckon he's a chance here. And Candice Warner on the beach, these three have broken away.
Zach Morris would have to be one of the strongest swimmers in the field. So this going into this swim leg almost first is really going to suit him. We know the swim's going to take about 7 minutes, so it's going to be important through this early part that they get real down low, hold the sand, push up, and try to hold their ground.
It's been a good year for Zach. He was 8th last season, did get 3rd in round 3 last year, made the semi-final of Wave Cross, which was a strong performance, and his best result yesterday, 6th in round 5. So this could be his best result of the series
And I think for Zach Morris, just mixing it with the big boys at the front of the race in the final of the survival here, that's a big one for him. Last season, he sort of got himself into a good position, finished pretty well in 8th overall, but I think he was determined to make the jump and be a contender this year. And like you said, had some good results, some not so good results. So mixing it with the big boys is an important one. Jai Timperley and Ali Day, 4 and 5 as they went through transition, a minute down. So they're really doing a solid job. We saw them come around, and then there is a giant gap back to the rest of the field. So a few starting to come in on the ski, maybe one more starting to come in on the ski, but then I cannot see anybody else on the way home. The rest of the field, it is like someone dropped a bomb in the centre of there. There is skis, paddles and competitors everywhere. Nobody is on their craft, and it is an absolute nightmare for some of these guys as Morris, Carberry sneak under a few there, and Poole chases very, very hard. So Ben Carberry's going to muscle his way through the break. He's going to try and get to the back and then let Zach Morris take him around on the swim, find a wave on the way home. So Dan Collins works his way through in 6th place. So he was the other one. The top 6 are through. That's a minute 45 from Collins to Carberry in 6th, and there's no one in the background there. So, well, Dan Collins, he's a great swimmer.
He won the swim yesterday.
He's a fantastic swimmer. And I think if anyone can make up a lot of ground in this one, it's him. But it's also a hell of a lot of luck, as we see at the top of the screen there, a couple coming in on the ski. But that's Carberry on the front, Zach Morris sitting behind him, just trying to hang on. Matt Poole in 3rd on the left-hand side. And you can see the strength there. They both went under. Morris was on his feet, but Ben Carberry could hold the bottom, push off, and get that little bit more of a gap. And Carberry would be 110 kilos, 115 kilos. I know Cracker, the board maker, had to make him a special board because they don't normally make them that big. Whereas your Zach Morris, he might be 71, 72 kilos, stick thin, hasn't quite filled out yet. So he's got a bit of growing to do. He's got a bit of strength to get there. And sometimes it doesn't play an effect, but on a day like today when it's about pure power, that is when Ben Carberry's size comes into effect. And he's really putting on a show here.
Just ducked under some whitewash there. It's still a hard slog to get out to those cans. They've taken probably a skinnier line to the cans than they've had to in the last couple of days, despite the wind. Huge amount of side sweep on the beach for the last 2 days.
You can literally see the rip in this shot. All that white water at the top, that's the bank. Those waves are rolling through there, and every now and again one will come through. But at the bottom of the screen, that green water was the rip that was charging out just as the water comes through, and ruins my analogy there. But you can see the hole. There's white waters either side of them, and then just that being sucked out in the centre there. That's what you want if you're racing like this. It's not what you want if you're just going for a swim at the beach every day. There's a few more through transition at the moment. Kendrick Louis gone through. He's 3 minutes 45 down. Hayden Cotter in 8th place. Kai Taylor in 9th. 10th is Jackson Maynard. 11th is Joe Collins. So despite getting absolutely walloped, there's Kendrick Louis there. That's that next group. Wes Gould in the background on his ski. Despite getting walloped, Kendrick Louis has done a fantastic job. He's still in the top 7. This group going in, some big hitters in the swim with Louis and Collins there. Kai Taylor in red. He's the next gen athlete. Pink's Cotter. Jackson Maynard got whipped as well, and it's all happening here in the swim.
We'll be coming back with more of the swim action. Ben Carberry still in the lead after the break. This Kurrawa surf has done a wonderful job of breaking up the field here in the final race of the Nutri-Grain Iron Series. Ben Carberry led them out of that last transition, but what's been happening on the swimmers, we still see ski paddlers in the water.
Oh, Finn Askew there. We saw his handler during the break dragging the ski back up the beach. He still has to go out, so we've only had 12 men enter the swim. One's out the back, Finn Askew, who got absolutely destroyed the first time and then absolutely destroyed the second time he went out. They've dragged his ski up the beach, and he's going to be going out again. And our leaders, they're out the back and making their way home in the swim, and we can see there's a couple still working through. That's the back half. That's your Taylor, your Maynard, your Collins and your Gould working through the swim break there, really doing their best job. And then at the top left-hand side of your screen, there's a couple starting to come home as well. So very, very difficult for these guys. They're working their way back into the break zone as we speak, and it's just chaos aplenty because the surf is so big. It's over such a huge area, and they're getting washed so far down. It is absolute nightmare. One's in the break there. This looks like it might be maybe Matt Poole. I don't know. No, that's a little bit further back in that field. That might be Jai Timperley working his way back into it. There's someone in the break as well. So It's very difficult for us to see from the beach, and they're getting waves left, right and centre, but we have to wait till they hit the sand, and then it's a little bit easier when they go out on the board. We can pick them above the waterline.
Well, we did know that Zach Morris was giving a little bit of distance.
Yep,
about
Ben
9
Carberry.
years and about 20 or 30 kilos to Ben Carberry in the lead. So I don't know whether that's going to help him or hinder him.
I do not know, but Benny Carberry, he is one of the best in the business when it comes to big waves, and he was doing a fantastic job. So we'll wait and see who hits the sand, and it doesn't really matter until you get to the beach, because you can get a wave into that gutter, and before you know it, you turn around and there's 2, 3, 4 on the next wave. So there's a big set coming through at the moment there, and the wind's really starting to howl, and it just keeps blowing them further and further down the beach. We'll wait to see who stands up here at Kurrawa. It's absolute chaos at the moment. He's right down the edge. We try and pan all the way around. We can see just there, working his way back to the beach. He'll get this one. I don't know who it is, but we'll wait to see who stands up. It's a lucky dip. It could be anybody after that. Oh, up the beach, it's Carberry. It's Benny Carberry up the beach. So I think that's Matt Poole swimming in the background. And then it looks like Ben Carberry. High fives all around. He's loving
Morris
it.
chasing?
No, it's Matt Poole chasing. Maybe Matt Poole
Morris is
chasing.
further back.
Ben Carberry, Matt Poole, as they go up and around. So what about that? We lost them in the surf. He made his way into the beach. This is Ben Carberry's opportunity to get a race win. He's never had one before. He's finished on the podium 3 times in single races before, but he's never won one. So this could be his day. Matt Poole in second in his final race. He's had 7 race wins before. He's won an overall series all the way back in 2017. So he's had 5 times overall series podiums. Ben Carberry, he is chasing his first one. Matt Poole's chasing his 8th one. So Poole is finished on the overall podium more times than Ben Carberry's finished on individual race podiums. He goes down to the board, ski down, swim down, board to go. Ali Day through in 3rd, Candice Warner on the beach.
Yeah, so it's very, very windy down here. Matt Poole is about to pick up his board for the very last time and go around these cans. He's going to want to finish his career on a high, but once again, Ali Day is on his tail.
Wow, that's extraordinary. Where is Zach Morris? He was right behind Benny Carberry as they entered that swim leg. We've not been able to see him. It's very difficult. The technical difficulties created by the strong winds today have also been hampering us.
You can see them holding the craft down there as they head back out to sea, and don't worry at all. These guys know each other very, very well. Ben Carberry and Ali Day grew up together. Matty Poole and Ali Day trained together at Mooloolaba for maybe 3 or 4 years. So these guys know each other very well. They're friends there, but there'll be no friends here. They won't be letting Matty Poole have a win here in his final race. They'll be trying to race for the win, and I think we just got word about Finn Askew.
Yeah, just pulled out of the race there. We saw him trying to enter the water for the 2nd time in the ski leg. He's so far back now, he just made the decision to bite the bullet and quit the race, and that's a fair call as well.
There he is with his same age group, Finney Askew. That was him. That's Zach Morris there. Just the high five to Zach telling him to hurry up, and these guys have raced each other for years and years and years. Trent Herring tells Zach to get going, son, get going. The Morris boys will be cheering him on at home, because that's a huge thing, and a great sign of respect there from Finney Askew to get out there and support his fellow teammates, even though he didn't have the best day. He'll finish with a 14th place today, and this is the race on the front. Can Carberry get his first ever win? Can Matt Poole finish with a fairy tale? We're about to find out, is there any energy in those old legs? Oh, Carberry gets hit, Poole goes up and over. Jai Timperley's through transition as well, but almost 2 minutes down. There he goes. He grabs the board, goes to work in this final board leg for the final time this summer, round 6, where survival of the Nutri-Grain IronMan series. And Carberry looks like he's gone over the top. Carberry looks like he's got a break. So you get a little break in this, you take it and stretch it as far as it'll go. And Ben Carberry's just powering his way through the surf at the moment. He looks slow, but he looks strong.
He's in a good position now, and providing he can make his turns well.
Dan Collins working his way through 6th place there, so he picks up the board, the top 6 is through. So that was the initial group on the swim that went in together, and it's just all spread out. A big wave for Carberry. He goes up and over. Matt Poole kneels through that one. Poole's a little bit further north, so he'll be hoping for a giant set to come through and to clean up Benny Carberry, and I think that's happened there. It's just slowed him down. Poole's found a hole, and you can see that water running out to the north there. Carberry's trying to sneak around one. Poole's trying to sneak around the other side. Oh, no. Is it going to happen? Are we going to see a fairy tale? Poole snuck out over it. He's just been running through the rip. Massive there, and we just watched it happen, but there's another set coming through. You think you're out, and Mother Nature says, no, not yet, son. You're going to have to do some more work.
And Ben gets the better line on that occasion, so it's extraordinary how difficult it's been. Carberry, it's closed out on him there, so Carberry will again get hit as Matt Poole was, but they're very different lines to the cans too, which we still can't see, so it's hard to tell.
And very difficult, and I think it's just going to come down to luck. Both men are rating up very highly. It's going to come down to where those waves stand up. Oh, Carberry gets clipped. Poole is out. The final leg of the final race, of his final race, Matt Poole is in the lead, heading out to that can, but Ben Carberry refuses to go away. And where is Ali Day? That's the big question, because he has been close every single round so far. So that's Poole in the lead. He's working his way back. He'll have a better run back to that first can than Ben Carberry, but Ben Carberry's going to fight him for it. That is for sure. You do not throw away series races.
They're going across a big set here,
Massive.
And there's just a little bit of lip on this next one. You got to get over it.
Yeah, he sneaks up over that one, and a couple of the guys on the swim are working very, very hard on the way back. So really, Matt Poole's got to sneak across to get around here, so they'll come back together. And what about this? You couldn't have scripted it more differently. Matt Poole, Ben Carberry head to head. Neither of them probably would have been picked at the start of today, and if it comes down to a sprint finish, both of them are very, very quick men. So Poole leads for the final time. I wonder what's running through his head. His handler and Father Ian on the beach, he'll be jumping out of his skin, but he won't be wearing a shirt because he hasn't done it for 15 years. Matt Poole is in the lead of his final race. Ben Carberry from Oak Flats in the south coast of New South Wales through Warilla Barrack Point Surf Club, now at Currumbin. What about this finish head to head? And Poole's just got the jump. He'll get first choice of the waves here on the way home, and we are in for a cracker of a finish here. Strap yourselves in. It's going to come down to Mother Nature. There goes, I think that's Morris on the way out. They've turned for home. They've lifted the rating, and I think there's a wave.
Oh, this is extraordinary, and it's quite possible they could be side by side, and one will get it and one won't. You can see how varied the conditions are there, and the wind's making it even worse.
A big set's here, big set. They've both got it. They've appeared. They've both got it. So we're in for a sprint up the beach. If they can hold it all the way through, they'll both grab the back straps, and for the final time, Poole goes up and over. He comes down. I thought for a second he was gone. They've gone side by side. He's won races like this before against Shannon Eckstein. Carberry on the left, Poole on the right. They've got to put the power down now. They've got to get through the gutter. Both men get through the gutter. What Poole will want to do now is push Carberry down the beach and make this run as long as possible, because he's got the inside run up to the line. Oh, he gets pushed across. Oh, whipped there around. This is it. It's all coming down to this. The fairy tale for Poole. Can Carberry be the spoiler here? It doesn't matter. Both these men, they're going to get up and go for broke. We're going to find out who is our round 6 champion. Poole's going to push him straight there. He's going to want to be the first one up. He steps up, gets the legs going. Carberry's not going to let him have it for the final time in his final race. Is it going to be a fairy tale? Poole, Carberry, Poole, Carberry. Carberry's got the jump. Poole goes up the inside. Carberry spoils the fun. Matt Poole finishes second, and what a way to finish. The disappointment on his face, but it doesn't matter. That's a race for the ages. Benny Carberry has proved the villain. He doesn't care because he's our round 6 champion. He is the ultimate survivor. He wins round 6, and Matt Poole so close to going out with a bang. What about that one?
What a story. Benny Carberry nails his first race win at the same time as Matt Poole was looking for a win in his final event. A series to remember, and this man here has been the
stellar.
most memorable. What a champion. What a champion.
Unbelievable for Ali Day. He's dominated, that's for sure. Hugs all around. That's Kelly's wife there. His sister's in there as well. A couple of coaches and his son Danny. And I think he's had dad power all this year. An unbelievable performance from Ali Day. He just continues to get better and better and better. His worst result was a 4th. He gets a 3rd today. And then he had 4 wins as well. It couldn't be much better.
That is extraordinary. Congratulations to Ali Day. 3 great performances there. The champion and the man who won his first race and the man who retired with a brilliant second. Matt Bevilacqua finishing second in the series still, despite missing out on qualifying for this decisive race today. And Harriet Brown, of course, is our women's champion as well. Congratulations to them. There are our sponsors, of course. Thanks so much to Nutri-Grain for a wonderful series. The Gold Coast for hosting these final 4 rounds. Engine, Ampol, DHL, Isuzu, Ute and Westpac. It's been wonderful on behalf of all the commentators here and all the organisers. Thank you for helping us out on what has been a wonderful series again. And we leave you with this shot of the great man, Ali Day, and say goodbye until next season.